right, welcome back to another episode of the Horsemen Pro Football Talk podcast. I'm Brad.
This is Zach.
And I'm Hefe.
Zach, we got to get some cool nicknames.
Z Money.
Z Money.
Daddy. Z Daddy.
I feel inferior introducing. He introduced himself as Hefe. He got some cool nicknames. I don't have one.
I mean, he's a fantasy guru, so I guess you get that privilege, huh?
He is a fantasy guru. You're getting quite the cultic following there, Hefe.
Yeah, I've had a couple different people message me over the last 2 weeks asking me what they should do with their lineup.
You should have them set 30-minute appointments and charge them $100 an hour.
Yeah, seriously, no good idea.
If anybody doesn't know what we're referring to, Jeff's made some really big calls in fantasy football, which doesn't surprise me. That's why we're doing this podcast. Three of us all have our own areas of knowledge in this, and Jeff's made some pretty intense calls on the fantasy football, and he's getting a little notoriety for it. So congratulations, Hefe.
Yeah, it'd be nice if my own fantasy team was doing that good. I was all the injuries we had this week, and I had like half my lineup leave a little early, so I'm hurting this week.
Yeah, well, happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel that way with my picks, even though I'm tied for second. I still I'm a little embarrassed that none of us are at the top of our own pick'em league. So we need to tighten up our game and make sure one of us has bragging rights to that.
Yeah, there's somebody that's gotten all of them right still, isn't there? Is there anybody that's gotten them all?
Not in our league, but I don't know if anyone overall has. If anyone overall has, then it's a 7-year-old kid and
God knows, right? No, it's there's 3 people that have 30 points, so they only missed 2. 2 guys missed 2. The first week got it all last week right, and the third guy got 15 out of 16 the first 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, it's like anything else, you a little bit of skill and a whole lot of luck to win anything. So that's my excuse for week 2, but that excuse is going to run thin, so we need to pull out of that. So let's get started with that. All right, let's go with the Dolphins and the Jags. This game this highlights my anxiety. This game right here. All right. On one hand, I'm waiting for the Dolphins to break that seal. They need a win. I expected a winning season out of them this year. They need a win, if nothing else, for me, just to placate me, which I'm sure is on the top of Flores' list to make sure that my anxiety's taken care of. But all kidding aside, they do need a win, and I feel it's coming at any moment. But on the other hand, we have the Jags, and they start the season with a major upset over the Colts. They damn near beat the Titans, and I expected much less of them. So it's the opposite feeling. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop here, and at any moment for them to start sputtering and finish at the bottom of the AFC South. So I'm really torn, and I can't tell what is emotional from that I can't stand the Jags to I love the Dolphins because I'm in South Florida. I can't sort this out. But in the end, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And based on weeks 1 and 2 and the fact that the Jags are at home, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I got to go with the Jags.
Wow, I did not anticipate that one. I thought for sure you were going to go with the Dolphins, but I mean, Jacksonville has looked impressive the first 2 weeks. They are favored in this game by 3, but I contributed that to them being at home. And as we all agreed, Miami hasn't received the props that we believe they should have been given. But I think this is the week where that team we think they are deep down inside comes out and they get the road win against the Jags.
I hope so. I really do. I really do hope that's the case.
Yep. I'd have to agree with that. I think the Jags have surprised everybody, and they look good over the first 2 weeks. But the Dolphins have just played some tough opponents. They had to start against the Patriots, and we saw how good that Patriots team really is. And they had another tough matchup this past week. And I think, like Zach said, coming into this week on Thursday night, I think they're going to want to impose their will, get that first win of the season, and I think they do it against the Jags.
Okay. Well, I hope that I am wrong because I want the Dolphins to win. Deep down, I think they'll win, but I just can't. You can't argue with what the Jags have done so far. So there we go. We'll move on. I won't make excuses anymore. I won't give myself any more of an out than I'm going to take next week when the Dolphins win. How's that?
That works.
Yeah. All right. Bears of Falcons. Man, the same thing. This is another waiting for the shoe to drop. I can't see the Bears keeping this up. Can you?
I picked the Bears the first 2 weeks and was wrong. So it's hard to go against them a third straight week, but Atlanta's passing game is off the charts. If Julio Jones is healthy, I think Atlanta's going to get the first win of the season.
Yeah, I deep down, I feel like the Falcons should win this game, right? You just feel like the Falcons should win this game, but from what we've seen over the first 2 weeks, there's just not enough faith in Dan Quinn getting those guys ready to play this game. So I'm going to take Mitch Trubisky and the Bears in this one.
Yeah, so I can't see the Bears at 3-0. So I agree. I agree with you, Hefe. I think the Bears should come in and win this game, but I can't see the Bears at 3-0, just like I can't see the Falcons at 0-3. And because I can't get my mind over both those humps, I got to take the Falcons at home. Okay, Rams at Bills, coin toss, but what a hell of a coin toss this is. I mean, I'm going to give the push to the home team, but man, let's face it, either team is very capable of winning this game the way things are going on right now. It should be a really, really, really good game. And what sucks about this kind of matchup is this early in the season is that somebody's going home with their first loss.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite matchups of the week. I'm really excited to watch this game. Both teams have been playing extraordinarily well. The Rams defense seems to be back. And then you have Josh Allen on the other side putting up MVP-like numbers. But because the Rams are taking a long trip across country to Buffalo, I got the Bills winning by 3.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. The Bills and the Rams, this is going to be probably the game of the week, in my opinion. Both defenses are looking really good. Both offenses are doing their thing. And I think there's just going to be a battle that everybody's going to want to watch this weekend, but I have the Bills pulling it out.
All right, we're all in agreement there. Bills should get the win at home. Next up, Bengals and Eagles. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. Eagles, it's probably going to be ugly, but Eagles, I think, are going to get the first win at home.
Yeah, Joe Burrow has been impressive the first 2 weeks, but they're still 0-2. Unfortunately, the team around him is not that good. I expect Philadelphia to bounce back and get the win at home.
Yeah, right there with you guys. I think, Joe Burrow's been doing his thing, but overall, I just think the Bengals just aren't talented enough to keep up, even with as many injuries as the Eagles had. This will be a competitive game, probably a really low-scoring game and ugly, but the Eagles win this one, in my opinion.
All right, we're all in agreement there as well. The Washington football team at the Cleveland Browns. Not much to say here either. Washington, their predictably dismal season will continue to manifest, and Browns will get the win at home.
Yep, I agree. Cleveland had a nice confidence boost against Cincinnati last week with the win. And they're home against Washington, so Cleveland's going to win it, cover the spread. I think they're favored by a touchdown, so I anticipate them going above and beyond.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what the Cleveland run game is able to do against that defensive line. But I think overall there's just too much talent in Cleveland. Cleveland wins this one.
All right, we're all in agreement there as well. All right, this is going to be an interesting game. Tennessee Titans at the Minnesota Vikings. The Horsemen were all three Ryan Tannehill fans. The Titans are 2-0. Henry's been struggling, and they struggled to win their first 2 games, but they did win their first 2 games. And but there's still some question of how good they are. That carryover from the playoffs. Was their run last year legit, or did they peak at the right time? Are they a legit contender on the rise from that playoff run? Or are they just just an above average team, or are they just an average team that got a couple, 2 wins early in this weird season? Got a good start to a favorable start to this schedule. I don't really know. We're still waiting to see and how that compares in the AFC South. The Colts, on the other hand, the Vikings, man, have really stumbled badly out of the gate. To be quite honest, they are making me look really bad. I tried to call Zimmer, and he didn't answer his phone, which is too bad because I was really going to give him a motivational speech to turn this game around and beat the Titans. The Colts, that would benefit the Colts. And I tried to call Reich, and he didn't answer either. I don't know what these guys are doing. But, so I'm looking for 2 things in this game, really. Is Zimmer finally going to get his shit together? Is he going to get control of this team and pull them out of this tailspin? They should be better than what they are. And I know that, Jeff disagrees with me a little bit. I know on the defensive side, Jeff, you've questioned their defense, which is a valid concern. But I think we all have to agree on paper the Vikings should be better. They shouldn't have looked as bad as they did last week. And Zimmer has to get control of this, or this season. And we talked. I'm not going to pull anybody else down with me. I had talked about the Vikings could contend for the North. And with the way things are going right now, with how bad they're playing, and with as good as the Packers are playing, if the Vikings don't get their shit together real soon, this season's over before it even got started. So, but the biggest thing I'm interested in this game is the hierarchy in the AFC South. Indy dominated the Vikings and just made them look bad. I mean, I'm sure they didn't help themselves look bad, but Indy controlled this game. And the Colts didn't even play as well as they should. I mean, we talked about that. We talked about while the game was going on. We talked about it during the recap the other day. I mean, the Colts left 16 points on the field, and you can't do that. So they've got some red zone issues, but they dominated the game still nonetheless. But the Colts struggled and lost to the Jags. The Titans struggled and won against the Jags. For me, those two are washed this early in the season, so that they cancel each other out. So I think this is our second opportunity, but our first real good opportunity to compare the legitimacy of the Colts versus the Titans for the top of the AFC South. In the end, though, I mean, based on what I've seen thus far, as much as I do not want to see the Titans at 3-0, I can't pick against them this week, and I think the Titans are going to get the win.
Man, I thought you were going with the Vikings after that whole spiel. I was like,
No.
what? What is
I
he
like
doing?
to keep you guys on your toes.
Yeah, to kind of echo what you said, Minnesota just lost their four-time Pro Bowler linebacker Anthony Barr. He's out for the season. Their offense looked absolutely horrendous against the Colts, which credit to the Colts defense. Tannehill's been playing well. He's done his job protecting the ball, making plays when he needs to, managing the clock. And while the defense have been shutting down Henry, but I anticipate Henry to have a breakout game, finally get going. He's been averaging sub 4.0 yards per carry the first 2 games. So I anticipate him having a big game and Titans winning it. I think they're projected to be the favorite by 3 at this point. So
I also have the Titans winning this one. I think that it's going to be a lot of Derrick Henry, like 30 carries. I think they're going to be up in this game, from the jump. So, with the comfortable lead, they'll just let Henry get going. Tannehill just had 4 touchdowns, so it wouldn't surprise me if they let Derrick Henry go for 2 or 3 in this game, and I have the Titans blowing them out in this one.
Blowout. Jeff's calling the blowout.
I could see it happening. Yeah.
I can too. If the Vikings played as bad as they did last week, and the Titans are legit, which we all three kind of agree that the Colts and the Titans both have the potential to be legit. If those 2 things happen, I have to agree with you. I can easily see a blowout happen here.
Yeah, and the thing that worries me the most, like I was already worried about the secondary coming into the year, and it's looked bad, but Anthony Barr is like the one guy that they've decided to keep on that defense, and him being out is going to leave a huge hole for that defense the entire season.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Raiders at the Patriots. Man, can this season get any more complicated? Where did these Raiders come from?
The
Jeff,
Raiders.
Jeff, don't start with your "I've been trying to tell you" crap.
Right?
What you got? What do you got? What are you wearing right now, Jeff?
Representing.
BPD car, baby.
Look, had I picked this game, the Raiders and the Patriots, had I picked this game Monday morning, I wouldn't have bet against the Patriots at home against the Raiders. There had been no way. But after that ass whooping they put on and put the Saints in their place, I mean, that's no small feat, man. You have my Chucky. You have my attention. I've got heartburn trying to sort this one out. In the end, what am I going to say?
Belichick at home. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, Beelzebub. I can't at this stage, despite how well they did the other night. I have to put. I don't want to say that the Raiders are. I don't want to say it was a fluke win. Those are extremely rare. I believe Chucky's got something figured out here, and the Raiders are going to be better than I thought they were. I'll be the first to admit that. But I do think they haven't shown me enough to show me that that's going to be consistent. They're going into New England. Beelzebub is going to have control of the headsets, like Manning said. He's going to conjure all the demons on the sidelines he needs, and he's probably going to get the win at home. But I could be surprised. I mean, the Raiders could steal this. They shocked me the other night.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I mean, Las Vegas looked really good against New Orleans last week. Cam Newton's been balling out. He looked great against Seattle. Other than Cam Newton, there's not a whole lot going on with the Patriots offense. Their defense obviously is spectacular, even though they're missing quite a few guys. So to me, this one's a toss-up, and the Patriots are favored by 6.5. But I think Vegas is going to keep riding that high. They're going to give the ball to Josh Jacobs. Derek Carr is going to make some plays, and Las Vegas is going to come out of Foxborough with an upset victory.
Yeah, I'm right there with Zach. Obviously, you probably saw that coming wearing the Raiders. But I think that Derek Carr has the talent to be a Ryan Tannehill type. People say that Ryan Tannehill can't win it on his arm, but he's done it, right? You just got to put the pieces around him. Mike Mayock and John Gruden, they've brought some pieces in over the last couple of years. They had a defensive-centric draft last year. This past season, they had 5 receivers they got in the draft. So with all the talent they brought in, they're staying healthy this year. The Raiders look really good, ready to surprise people, and I think they surprised New England.
All right. 49ers and Giants. This is a scary game. This is the game that should be assured. This is like the Saints and the Raiders the other night. I think we joke on Monday that no one was going to miss a Monday night game in their pick'ems. Yeah. This is one of those games. It should be the 49ers, but man, they are beat up. I don't expect things to be easy for them for the next, 6 weeks or whatever, to be honest. And then I don't even know about then, because with the foundation of losing is laid in the first half of the season. Even you get your guys back now, you've got a morale problem. You got to get that turned around, the positivity in the locker room, and get people believing in what you're doing. Not that they've lost complete control. And I'm not screaming the sky is falling. I'm just saying the 49ers have a real problem with their injuries and trying to balance this out. And, coming all the way across the country to go into New York to play, this is the kind of game where you look at the scoreboard and you're in disbelief that the Giants have beat the 49ers. But conventional wisdom says to go with the best team, and that's what I'm going to do. 49ers for the win.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have written down. San Francisco suffered a ton of injuries in New York last week against the Jets. They're back in New York to play the Giants. That might have an issue that might get in their head a little bit, make them think twice. But unfortunately, the Giants lost their star running back, Saquon Barkley, and I think that's going to be a huge impact. They ended up signing Devontae Freeman as a replacement. But overall, I think San Francisco is a better team, even with the injuries. So I expect them to win this by at least a touchdown, but they're favored by 4.5.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add. I think there's just more talent on the 49ers, even with the injuries, better coaching, and I'm taking the 49ers in this one.
All right, we all agree. Okay, so next up is the Texans at the Steelers, and this is another game that the Steelers have shown some vulnerability already early, and I don't know if that's a sign of things to come or if it's early in the season, especially this season. The Texans, they didn't look like a Super Bowl contender in the first 2 weeks of playing Super Bowl contenders, so they showed that. And there's that whole argument, yeah, but they were playing the Chiefs and the Ravens. They still didn't look like they were operating, not only operating at that level, but that they were going to ever operate at that level this year. The Steelers are 2-0 and trying to stay undefeated. I think that's important to note. But the Texans are winless and they're desperately trying to get a win. They're trying to find their identity. And I think they probably feel like this is a real first opportunity to get that. And so there's a lot of emotions and motivations at play here, and they could go a lot of different directions. But in reality, I think the Steelers have the advantage because they have the confidence that they're 2-0. They're playing at home with the home field advantage, whatever that's worth during this COVID season. I think the Texans, if they struggle and or get down early, there comes that, oh my God, here we go again. We're going to lose another one. They got the stigma 0-3, and the Titans are already 2-0, so they're already well behind. I think that may come into play. Both continue in their current direction. Steelers end up 3-0, and Texans 0-3 at the end of the week.
Yeah, I really feel for Deshaun Watson. He's a great quarterback, but Bill O'Brien has just completely destroyed the Texans as a team. Week 1, they took on Kansas City, followed that up by Baltimore last week, and it's not going to get any easier going into Pittsburgh, facing a tough Pittsburgh defense. So I have the Steelers coming out with a win, and they're going to cover the 4-point spread.
Yeah, I don't really expect this one to be competitive like the Texans' first 2 games. It's just not looking good. No matter how good Deshaun Watson is, that team around him they're just so bad. Bill O'Brien's doing such a bad job with it. So I have the Steelers blowing them out this weekend.
All right, just called a second blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, Jets at Colts. This should be a preseason game for the Colts to fine tune and fix some of those red zone issues that we were talking about. This should be an opportunity to move into a tie, potentially a tie for first place in AFC South if the Titans lose. This is a no-brainer. I hope the score is 72-3 and Adam Gase is fired on Monday.
Yeah, a couple fun, interesting notes about this one. This game's projected to be the lowest scoring game of the week, but it's also the highest spread with the Colts favored by 11 over the Jets. The Colts have lost Marlon Mack in week 1, Paris Campbell week 2. Despite those injuries, the Colts still have plenty of playmakers, plenty of guys stepping up, filling in their respective positions. So I think the Colts will win this one, but with the spread at 11, there's something about the Jets that always kind of give the Colts an issue. So I think the Colts will win, but the Jets are going to keep it within 11.
Yeah, I just don't think this Jets team is going to give the Colts an issue. They might. The Jags did week 1, but I expect the Colts to come in. Their defense was flying around the field. I expect them to make Sam Darnold look like Kirk Cousins, and I expect the offense to keep getting better. They got better from week 1 to week 2. I expect them to get better from 2 to 3. I expect Pittman to have a big role in the second half of this game once they have a comfortable lead. Start getting the rookie involved, let him run some different routes. So the Colts are going to win this one pretty easily.
And I just want to say for the record, I hope the Colts absolutely destroy them.
I think we all do. I want to touch on something the Hefe said, and I don't, and I know what you meant. You didn't mean this when you said that the Colts struggle with the Jags. The Jets and the Jags are nowhere near on the same level. I'm going to give the Jags all the props they deserve. They have balled out the last 2 weeks, and they are steps above the Jets. We did not mean to, as much as we don't care if we insult Jags fans, we didn't intentionally mean to insult Jags fans. Jags are a way better team than the Jets. Jets are absolutely at the bottom of the cellar. I think they're even worse than the Lions. So setting that record straight. Panthers at Chargers. I don't have much on this. Long road trip for a struggling team. Chargers are going to take this one at home.
Yeah, Carolina lost their star running back, Christian McCaffrey, to injury last week. That's going to put a lot of pressure on Bridgewater to perform. The Chargers looked impressive against Kansas City, almost took down the Super Bowl champs last week. So I think their defense is going to be way too much for the Panthers. So I have the Chargers winning and covering the spread, which is 6.5 points.
I also have the Chargers winning this one. You know, the CMC thing is just on top of the bad defense. It's just, I like Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert's about to come out against his defense and have, you know, a career type day, you know, so probably over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns type of day. You know, Anthony Lynn, I don't know why he said that, you know, oh, he's a backup for a reason, you know, after he went out and balled out against the Super Bowl champions. So, you know, I don't really know why Anthony Lynn doesn't have the confidence in him, but I think he's going to have a really big week against the Panthers.
Yeah, and so there's a couple of things I'd like to note here. It's my understanding that there was some type of a medical accident for with Tyrod Taylor. Is that correct?
Yeah. So apparently, sometime before the game, he had a cracked rib or a couple cracked ribs, and they were giving him a pain-killing injection, and the doctor that did it punctured his lung. So they had to take him to the hospital, and that's why Herbert was starting.
It's absolutely terrible. I think that doctor probably needs to go on extended vacation, go fishing with Adam Gase when this is all over. Yeah, I mean, that's terrible. You hate to see a lot of things happen in this league, but you hate to see a preventable injury like that with someone that knows what they're doing. I know he's only human, but damn, that's pretty intense. The second thing that I wanted to point out is that this is how coaches lose control of their organization. You don't just say that a guy was a backup for a reason. On the surface, that looks benign, but I'm telling you what, if you don't think that kid realizes that, and that you don't think that his players around him, especially his offensive linemen, and his offensive core, and they're seeing the kid ball out, and then the coach is saying stuff like that. And this is different than what Arian said about Brady. Brady's a professional who's put up all kinds of numbers, and he knows when he's sucking on the field. And when Arian's just saying he sucked on the field, Brady already knows that. This is different. This is a young kid who's building some confidence. He came in, he did exactly what you asked him to do. The guys in the locker room, you know, those guys, I mean, they all saw it. They all saw it. They're with the guy all the time. So if the guy is what he looks like he's going to be, and now your coach just cut him down in the media, you have to ask, why would he do that? Is there no loyalty? Does he really believe that? Does he not see what we're seeing? And unfortunately, that kind of stuff will cause him to lose control of the football team.
Yeah, that's what worried me. As soon as I saw the comment, I literally had to go on Google to fact check it. I wanted to make sure that was right, because it just didn't seem like an Anthony Lynn kind of thing to throw his guy under the bus. And I haven't really seen a whole lot of people talking about it. But like you, I think it's a bigger deal than people are making it. You know, like you're talking about, like you said, a rookie that needs to build confidence. He's taken over for a guy that got replaced by a rookie 2 years ago. So like he was a backup for a reason for multiple teams. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just I didn't understand it, but I just think Anthony Lynn's wrong on this one.
I agree. Okay, Cowboys and Seahawks. Just like the Panthers have it's a long road trip for a struggling team going to Los Angeles. The Cowboys have a short road trip for a struggling team. Seahawks moved to 3-0.
Yeah, this game is projected to be the highest scoring game of the week. Seattle's a Super Bowl contender in the NFC, so I expect them to win, but I think it's still going to be close. They're favored by 5.5. So I have Dallas covering the spread. I think it's going to come down to a last-second field goal.
Ooh, that's interesting. I hope it does. I think this has a chance to be a really good game. But I mean, Russell Wilson's completing like 82.5%, for 9 touchdowns already this year. He's just going crazy in this Cowboys secondary. It's a little suspect, and I think DK Metcalf takes complete advantage of that. And so I have the Seahawks winning this one and covering that spread.
Okay. All right. Next up is Bucks and the Broncos. This is another one of those sneaky potential upsets. I mean, the Bucks are on the road playing in Denver, which is not easy, against apparently an extremely feisty Broncos team that is desperately trying to prove that they're better than everyone expected them to be. That makes for a dangerous football team. They're just like the Jags. When they don't go away silently in the dark and they come back fighting and they got something to prove, that's there's a lot of things that go into winning, but that attitude certainly is part of it. So Broncos were paying attention, but I believe that the Bucks are one of the top tier teams. We've talked about that. They're still trying to get their pieces in place. If they are one of the top tier teams, if they are a Super Bowl contender, despite all that, they should go into Denver and get a win.
Yeah, the Bucks got a nice confidence boost last week. Leonard Fournette showed that he can still perform. Tom Brady had a great game. He looked a lot better than he did week one. Denver's going to be without their starting quarterback, Drew Lock, and wide receiver Cortland Sutton's out for the year with injuries. So I have Tampa Bay winning by 10, and they're favored by 6.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate. I think that the Broncos have a lot of promise. I think this is going to be more of a defensive battle, kind of low scoring. But I just think that the Broncos losing Cortland Sutton it's going to leave a huge hole. I had high hopes for the Broncos with Drew Lock and Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy and Jeff Driscoll isn't a terrible quarterback. He's a good fill-in guy, but not having Cortland Sutton there to complement Jerry Jeudy is going to have a huge impact. So I'm going to take the Bucs in this one.
All right, we all agree. Okay, next up, Lions at the Arizona Cardinals. Matt Patricia takes one more giant leap towards his indefinite off-season fishing trip with Adam Gase and now apparently the Chargers team doctor. Cardinals embarrass the Lions and their fans some more, even if that's possible at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, this is expected to be another high-scoring game. I don't have any confidence in Matt Patricia either. So, and Arizona looked good the first 2 weeks, and they're at home. So I got them winning by a touchdown. They're favored by 6.
Yeah, I think if Kenny Galladay decides to doesn't decide to come back, but if they let him come back this week and start playing, I think the Lions offense gets a nice little injection and they become more competitive, but not competitive enough to beat the Cardinals.
All right, we all agree again. All right, now we're down to the good stuff, gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Packers at the Saints. This is separating the men from boys stuff right here. This is when we start finding out who's legit. Losses happen. It's hard to go 16-0, but it's champions find a way to win when it matters. Now, this is only week 3. I don't mean to overhype this, but damn, the Saints are still stinging, reeling from an ass whipping they got from Chucky. Their confidence is rattled, but guys like Sean Payton and Drew Brees, they're professionals. They're champions. They know how to respond to this kind of stuff. They know how to lead their guys and reel it back in. They're at home. But, damn, the Packers look pretty damn good. I don't know. This is going to be a shootout. And I really don't want to pick against the Packers. I really don't. They're probably going to win this game, but I got to go with the Saints at home.
Oh, come on!
Look, you're trying to convert me. I mean, you've been telling me I'm coming around. I just told you how good they were. You just got to give me another couple weeks.
No. All right. So, fun fact here, real quick: Green Bay hasn't won in New Orleans since 1995.
See.
Yeah, but I mean, things are meant to be broken, right?
That's right.
So Devontae Adams injured last week with the hamstring. He's expected to play. It appears Michael Thomas, injured with an ankle, going to be out. So I think that's going to make the difference between the two. I have Green Bay upsetting New Orleans in New Orleans. They're only favored by 3. They're the home team, so it's pretty even. But I got Green Bay, the number 1 team in the NFC, so I got to go with the Packers.
Yeah, this is a tough one to call, really, because Drew Brees is completely different at home than he is on the road. So back home, this team could put up, who knows, 38, 40 points without Michael Thomas there, or they could shit the bed again. Didn't look real good against the Raiders, but the Packers are doing real good on both sides of the ball, so I'm going to go with the Packers in this one.
Yeah.
I would like, as in my politician stance, I would like to go on record that, I think I already said it, that it wouldn't surprise me if the Packers win. I just can't go against them at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's a toss-up game, really. If Michael Thomas was playing, then I would give the edge to the Saints, but because he's not, and their offense struggled last week, I got to go with the Packers.
Yeah, it makes sense, and I like it that this is what it's about right here. I mean, we honestly have no idea what's going to happen. That's why we watch. So I'm really excited to watch this game. And speaking of which, Chiefs at the Ravens, another big boy game.
Monday night.
I know this is early, but this should be the preview of the AFC Championship, just like, and here's to give the Packers their props. Just like the previous game could be the preview of the NFC Championship, and I've been high on the Bucks before, all season, preseason, but the Packers are really showing me something. Anyway, I don't want to get off topic. This could be the preview of the AFC Championship. I think I have been saying these are the 2 best teams in the league, but I also now have to say that the Seahawks and the Packers might be challenging that as well. God, that pains me to say that about the Seahawks. What sucks about these games is somebody's going home with an L. Somebody's moving on to be one of the few undefeated teams. Based on the Chiefs' struggle against the Chargers, and I know it's interdivisional, but the Chiefs are on the road. They're in Baltimore. Baltimore is at home. The Chiefs are confident. They are who they are, and they're champions. But the Ravens have a chip on their shoulder that's been there for 2 years. It got bigger last year. This is their chance to not necessarily not only show everybody else, but to prove to themselves they can win a Super Bowl. I got to go with the Ravens.
Yeah, you took all the words out of my mouth. I don't really have much to add other than this is going to be a fantastic game to watch. Super excited. The last 2 NFL MVPs are going to be going head-to-head. The Ravens are favored by 3.5. Chiefs struggled last week against the Chargers, but they still pulled out a win, that's what champions do. But you're in Baltimore. Baltimore's flying high. I got them winning at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take Baltimore in this one too. It's two high flying offenses, but that Chiefs defense has shown some vulnerability last year. They're already showing vulnerability this year. A lot of the same pieces. And the Ravens defense is just insane. So I think when it comes down to it, they'll be able to make at least one more stop than the other defense, and I have the Ravens winning this one.
All right, we all agree. Okay, that pretty much wraps up our preview of Week 3. I want to remind everyone that if you haven't already, check out our recap of Week 2, where we break everything down. Also, check out what'd you say your name was? Z Man.
Z Money, Z Daddy, whatever anybody wants to call me.
Check out Hefe and Z Daddies. There's something not right about me saying that, but
who's your daddy now?
Check out their fantasy recap, and follow the guru. Get in while he's still not a celebrity, because it's coming. Right, Hefe?
Yeah.
Also, we'd love to have you in our Pick'em league. It's not too late to join. We go week to week. We mention that week's winner every week. We'd love to have you. You can find the information on our page. Please, like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends. Help us boost us up. And we'd also love to hear from you. So shoot us an email if you've got a suggestion, something you'd like us to talk about. If we're not showing your team love, please let us know. And as long as they aren't the Jets or the Jags, and we might show, or the Texans, we might show them some love anyway. So until then, we'll see you on Tuesday.
See ya.